All right, well, we have traversed a good portion of thinking and language and how they interact and so forth. We're going to turn our attention now to the even larger topic, and there's a lot in this particular component, is the idea of intelligence. And, you know, if someone were to ask you, how do you define someone who's intelligent? We could define it in a variety of ways. We could talk about grades. Somebody who's intelligent gets good grades. We could define it in terms of problem-solving skills. I suppose we could define it in terms of creativity. We could even define it in terms of, if you've heard the phrase emotional intelligence, we can think about intelligence in terms of relational aptitude, might be one way to put it. And you know, the picture to the left here is an example of a folk healer in Peru, and he would probably be highly valued in his society for being a pretty intelligent guy. And generally, in psychology at least, we've begun to, well, we haven't begun. We've been trying to measure intelligence for a long, long time. And essentially, the definition that your book gives, and is the present one, involves three different components. First of all, it involves learning from experience. We can say that somebody who is intelligent learns quickly, and that's the whole idea of learning from experience, and that's one of the elements that has been arrived at when we talk about intelligence. The second one really is solving problems, like we mentioned a little bit above, is solving problems. It requires a certain level of memory and workspace and so forth to solve problems. And then the last one, of course, is really using the knowledge to adapt. So knowledge essentially that leads to adaptation. Generally, we see that the species that is the most intelligent usually is the one that's the most adaptable and flexible in their response. So three different component parts right now as far as how we're going to define intelligence is the ability to learn from experience, to solve problems, and basically the knowledge to adapt to new situations. The other component part, which comes into my particular field, having been a psychologist for as long as I have, is the idea of intelligence tests. And so we've developed over time ways to assess people's mental abilities and then compare them against others. And that really is essentially what an intelligence test is one assessment of mental abilities. And then the second is comparison. How do I know if somebody is bright if I don't make some comparison against some reference point? And that's very much a part of what intelligence tests essentially do and help us to do. So so when you're thinking about intelligence, you think somebody's really smart or very intelligent. Think a little bit more broadly about that, and how we go about doing that is key, which is essentially what we're going to try to accomplish here in this short module, in just trying to introduce it to you first, as far as how we actually define intelligence and how we go about trying to understand where somebody falls in comparison to others.